Hi all, welcome to the Marquee Matchups for the 13th of March. Plenty to cover as always. Hopefully you enjoy this. Let me know in the comments down below what you fancy for the Marquee Matchups for this week. So we can smash links, be awesome. Sub to the channel if you're new. Follow me on Twitter at Gaz Ajaccio. All the links are down below for playlists on the channel and social media links as always. Now quite a few of the games I haven't included in this. I will explain this at the end of the video just because I think of likelihoods. But hopefully still find this useful regardless. So first option of the week is in France. We have Toulouse versus Strasbourg and Marseille versus Lyon. Marseille versus Lyon is the more stronger shout in my opinion. I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. Big game for both teams, especially as both are pushing for Champions League places especially. Likelihood probably 7 as I said. One of my top 4, so for those that like to know what I fancy, this is one of them. In terms of what to go for, Germain is a smart shout, Marcelo, Raphael and Sanson there, 4 good shots, Pella and Sakai as well you can also consider. Toulouse and Strasbourg, you want to look at like Lienhard, Lafon as well if you wanted to cover yourself with the alternative. So as I said, 2 smart options within France and it keeps yourself covered. Over to Germany, we have Freiburg versus Stuttgart. I'm only giving this a 5 out of 10, 5, 6 out of 10, mainly because I feel, despite being deemed a derby, I feel they'll go for other options. It is 2 of the smaller teams in Germany, so be fully aware that this could easily just get thrown in, and it wouldn't surprise me regardless. Freiburg, you want to look at Schwolo, the goalkeeper. Stuttgart is like upgraded Pavard, who is now a gold, and Asikabar, I think it is the Argentine CDM for Stuttgart as well. Freiburg, you're looking at Nils Pedersen as well as an alternative. But fairly straightforward, 77-78 rated, and you should be well and truly covered. Over to the MLS, you have Impact versus Toronto. That is another notable game. MLS games seem to be thick and fast for notable games in the league, and this is no different. For me, this is one of these 6 or 7 out of 10 ones. I feel it's a good one to cover your back with regardless, because it's 2 Canadian teams and they are very likely to just keep throwing MLS options in, on the assumption that most folk will have done the league, and it's just a case of just using up what you have spare from within the league. Toronto, Altidore, Bradley, smart options. Montreal Impact is a little bit harder, like Piatti is one notable example. And over to Portugal, you have got this game of Porto versus Boavista. For me personally, I feel it's not a strong given to happen. It's a good shout in terms of a 6, but for me it's one of these games they can easily just put aside, because they might say Porto versus Boavista. It's not a marquee game within the league, it's not like a Porto or a Sporting, but still it's a game to keep in mind regardless. The goalkeeper is from Boavista, but Porto, there's tons of options to work with. Poland has 2 options in Legia, Warsaw and Wisla, Krakow, and Lech Poznan versus Lechia, Gdansk. Both probably around a 5. It's hard to truly pin down which one they would go for. There's been a few upgrades within the league. You can look at Poznan, and you can also look at the goalie, the striker, the Portuguese striker, Carlos Lopez, who's been upgraded as well. He's now a 74 rated striker. You can also consider him. And then also the dude from right mid, Barcroft, I'm sure his name is, if I got 90% right, but around 70 rated is probably what I imagine, 67-70 rated. Over to Argentina, Boca Juniors versus River Plate. This for me is a very strong shout, mainly because it's 2 of the biggest teams in Argentina, but it's also one game, while it's happened before, would not surprise me if it happened again. Boca Juniors, plenty to work. Boca Juniors and River Plate, plenty non-rares and rares like Martinez, Fabra, Gago, Martinez. You're not short on options really, guys. It's fairly straightforward. As long as you're well prepared from a goal perspective, say 75 rated, wouldn't surprise me if they even bumped it down to like 72, 73, but I highly doubt it. 75 seems about fair to cover your back. Over to Belgium, of Genk versus Standard. This is the Belgian League Cup final, I think. Either the League Cup or the Belgian Cup final, I can't remember which one it is precisely. However, regardless, Standard Liège, you've got Standard Liège is Carcelo Gomez and Ochoa. Then from like a Genk perspective, you've got Kubo as one option. but you can also consider other goals within the league, like Trebel. Markovic is a slipped up one nearly. Denswell's another smart option. Vanaken, who's been upgraded. Vormer. You wouldn't find yourself short, and I've got plenty few bronzes in this with enough goals to balance it out. Over to Turkey with Fenerbahce versus Galatasaray. Another big game in Turkey has featured for the potential marquee matchups. Obviously they've had a couple in recent weeks. Another game is Istanbul Basaksehir versus Besiktas as well. I've given that as a 5, 6 out of 10, but Fenerbahce is my 7. So you've got 2 games in Turkey to work with. You can look at like Yilmaz, Beto, Skirtle, TT, Babel, Van Quer, plenty to really work with, and you wouldn't. Derdiok is another. In all honesty, 77, 78 rate. I wouldn't exactly find it too much of difficult. Selçuk Kenan, Onya Coop, just another couple others. Giuliano as well. So Giuliano is also now an 83. So be fully aware of some of the ones that have upgrades within this particular league. But in terms of other options that you can consider, you've got the 2 Irish games of Limerick, Cork and Shamrock St Pat's, AEK Athens, Panathinaikos, the Ajaccio Derby and Aarhus Aalborg. Hopefully find this useful, guys. Let me know in the comments down below. Smash likes as always, sub to the channel if you're new, and I'll catch you all later.